Gbpusd back at it with another video. This video I'm going to be showing you how I marked up this 1 to 2 risk reward plus trade on Gbpusd and how you can as well. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so as you can see here on Gbpusd, we've seen that price was in this overall downtrend, right? We've seen that it was creating lower lows and lower highs pretty much since this day, which was on the 14th, right? And what we can see here is this overall double top right here. And we see that price pretty much stopped people out, gave you that stop hunt right there, and then actually continued to go back down to the downside, breaking structure and creating lower lows and lower highs. And this would have been the first entry I would have got for the sell, which was right here, because this is where structure was actually broken for this minor time frame pullback to create the overall lower high position. And this is where I would be getting in for this sell position to the downside. And yeah, that's pretty much how you could have caught this first move and held that to the downside for a couple days, for 2 days. Stop loss would have been at this previous high, and you could have caught a 1 to 7 given on how good your entry was, or if you just had it right here at this overall low, you know what I'm saying, of support. This is a 1 to 6.5, pretty good trade. But I'm gonna show you guys how I caught this trade right here, and this is the before of the trade so you guys can see. And pretty much what happened right here is the exact same way I traded and got this entry right here. And I'm just going to show you guys that what happens on the higher time frame happens on the minor time frames, and how all you have to do is get good at understanding the way these patterns moves, the way market structure flows, and have a good strategy and directional bias of where the market is going using high probability setups and risk management, and you can be profitable. It's not that hard. It's simple, but it is hard. Let's just say that, right? And this is the after. So as you can see, price ended up hitting the 76.4 rejection, but didn't stop me out, right? Stop loss was at the previous high, which means that if price is going to continue with my market structure bias that I see, price should not overall go above this point. It can go at this point potentially, but it should not go above this point, right? Because that's the overall high of this move. Structure was broken, which gave me the clear signal that when price just pushes back up, I don't see price going above this point right here, right? And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So as you can see here, if you remove the sessions and you go in the 30-minute time frame so you can see more clearly, and let's go on a line chart, you clearly see that this is the overall high of this move right here, the short-term move that took pretty much from start to finish. It took 20 hours and 30 minutes, right? So as you can see here, this is the overall move, right? If you're in a downtrend and you see price pushing up for, let's say, the last day, creating an uptrend move, uptick move, the moment price breaks structure and pushes back up, that is a clear signal as an entry point. And what you could be doing is pulling out your Fibonacci and pretty much waiting for that retracement in your golden zone, which is for me between the 50 and the 61.8, or potentially the 764 rejection. And that's pretty much where you can get the entry at, right in that zone right there. So that's how you could have caught this first entry. This entry was around 7:30 in the morning, right before New York session, and that's pretty much where I would have caught the trade right here. I'm not too sure if it was a couple days ago, so I don't remember if I took this trade or not. I might have, but this is the trade that I pretty much did, and it's pretty much the same thing. So if you drop it on a 15-minute time frame, what do you see? You see price creating that overall high position, pretty much showing that price was getting exhausted and wanted to continue on the overall continuation of the move, right? Price is creating lower lows and lower highs. Even on the 4-hour time frame, you can see it very clearly that the market is in a downtrend. So when you see these market creating these minor time frame pullbacks that's creating higher lows and higher highs on the 15-minute, 5-minute, 1 hour, all you have to do to get in for that sell is wait for structure to be broken. Once structure is broken, when price pulls back up, that's where you get in for the entry. Mark up from the previous high to the previous new low. Wait for price to pull back in between your 50s, 61.8 or 764, and get in on your entry. You can scale into your position. Let's say you're risking 3%. Each time price hits a certain point, 50%, 1% entry, 1% entry, a 1% entry, and you can pretty much scale into your position. If you don't want to do that, what you can do is just do what I do, which is just scale into a position at a certain point that you feel like it's a good appropriate for, you know, the risk rewards and everything you're going for. For me, I'm looking to aim for a 1 to 2 risk reward or greater, and I try not to go for too much of a bigger risk reward, because that will start to mess with your win rate, and you'll start to leave a lot of money on the table when you start going for big moves in the market. These home run moves, they don't really happen that often. When they do, you know what I'm saying, it's best to secure in those. But for the most part, if you can just be consistently profitable, you know what I'm saying, catching, let's say, 1 to 2s and 1 to 3s with a 40 to 50 to 60% win rate, you're going to be profitable. Even a 30% win rate, you can be profitable. So with that being said, right, what do we see? We see structure being broken right here. The moment price created that new low, price was telling you that it wanted to go down. The market wanted to drop. So when the market pushed back up, that was giving me the clear signal that I wanted to take the move. But on top of that, I had multiple confluences for me taking this trade. What are the multiple confluences? Number one, we're in a downtrend. Number two, structure is broken, right? Number three, estimate confluences. If you go on the 1 hour time frame, you see that price was ejecting off the 50 SMA, which is my red line right here, and you see that as the extra confluence. The fourth confluence was the DXY, which is the strength and weakness of the US dollar. What I seen on the 4 hour time frame, that price was pretty much broke structure and was pretty much retesting that move, right? Break and retest the market structure. So if you guys don't know market structure, it's best to know market structure. As you can see here, you see that the 50, not the 50, you see that market structure pulled back. The market pulled back to create a break and retest of structure. Simple market structure right here. If you want the 2 hour time frame, you can see a Morningstar position, which is a candlestick confirmation that's giving you the directional bias where the market wants to go. We're in an uptrend on the 4 hour time frame on the DXY, and you have a Morningstar confirmation as well. So that to me was all the confirmation I needed to take this buy. So take the sell, my bad, on the GBPUSD. Sorry about that. So what I did was I dropped down to the 5-minute time frame and pretty much just took an entry based on that. Just what I did was, as soon as price got to my zone where I felt like it was, you know, decent, and I felt like this is a good appropriate target where price could probably drop to, that's what I did. I pretty much took my trade from there. And another tip is this: a lot of times what I used to do is I would see all these different things in the market, but then I wouldn't put an appropriate stop loss. What I would try to do is get the biggest risk to reward and stuff like that. So what I would do is I would try to put my stop loss right here and just target here. But here's the thing: this is the reason why this is invalid, because this is not the overall high. So price can pretty much hit this point of this lower high and still be valid if the market wants to drop. Why? Because this is the overall high of the move, and as long as price doesn't go above this move and do something like this, so let me try to find my drawing tool. So as long as the market doesn't do something like this, as comes up and goes to past this point, comes down and goes back up, then the market is valid, right? So what you need to understand is that you're going to have to put the appropriate stop loss. You're going to have to wait for your entry. You're going to have to be patient. And one of the things I like to do is called PDC. You know what I'm saying? These are the 3 things I need to have in order to be a profitable trader and be consistent: patience, discipline, and control. You know what I'm saying? If I have those 3 things in confluence with everything I have going on with my market structure and my bias, I'm going to be a profitable trader. And yeah. And the reason why I was overall targeting just this overall structured low right here is because that was the closest form of take profit zone that I could be looking at to take, is previous market structure, previous structure. That's what you're going to look at for take profit zones, and it lined up with my 28%, 27% extension. So yeah, that was the first form of take profit that I was really looking for price to go to. But overall, obviously my main take profit zone was right here, which is pretty much just a 1 to 3 risk reward right here. And this is a very simple trade, and this trade has just been repeated over and over and over again in the market. Like I said, if you're able to understand confirmations and wait for their certain directional bias and everything, you're going to be profitable, right? We look on the hourly time frame, right, and we look at this move. The market did the exact same thing. What did the market do? The market created a pullback, same way the market created here. The market created an overall new low right at this point. This was a signal that the market wanted to continue to go down. Structure is broken and created that new low. You look at the line chart, what do you see? You see that structure is broken, created the new low, lower low, right? So when the market pulls back, this is all a confirmation that the market wants to go down. And you're still waiting. This entire time, you're waiting for an entry. Soon as price gives you that confirmation, when the minor time frames are confluence with the higher time frames, that's where you get into the market, and that's where you can get good risk rewards, and you don't deal with massive drawdown, right? There's no point in getting in the market when the market is creating higher highs and higher lows. Yes, the overall bias of the trend is a downtrend, right? But if you see that the minor time frames in an uptrend, don't take the trade. Wait for price to give you that entry, and this is what price did during New York session. Price gave you that entry, right? So if I click on my sessions, you see right around here, which is around 8 o'clock, price gave you that entry. Structure was broken. Mark it up from the previous high to the previous new lower low, and price gives you straight entries right here, right? Boom. One to three risk reward, right? So if you're risking 3% per trade on this trade, this is 3%. This is 3%. You had just gained 9% of your account, if not more. And well, no, you just gained 18% of your account or more in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? These are both these trades alone or 1 to 3 risk reward plus, right? So that's just how you can pretty much trade the markets, and it's the same thing. You know, if you see that the market is overall on an uptrend, how it is right here, let's try to find one. For example, the market is overall pushing to the upside right here, right? There's no point in waiting to get an entry right here. Wait for structure to be broken. What happens? Structure is broken right at this point, right? As soon as I see structure is broken and I see confluences, right? I go in the, I go in the 30-minute time frame. What do I see? I see a break and retest. I see an uptrend. I see a rejection off the 20 SMA, and I see a candlestick confirmation. I see a Morningstar confirmation right at this point. But on top of that, to get the trade, to get a better entry, I see a pin bar confirmation on a break and retest zone with all those different confirmations. That is enough for me to take the trade. You know what I'm saying? And going on the 15-minute time frame, marking up from the previous low to previous high to the current high, entry point, targeting the previous structure right here over a high as a take profit zone. You can target, and if you want to go for more, hold the trade out to this overall high right at this point. And this is, look what do you see? This is a clear zone for looking for a take profit. Why? Because this is now where you're targeting. It's a supply zone. Price is now telling you that it's exhausted. Look at where price did the last time it got to this point. A complete melt from this point. So when price comes back to this point, you definitely want to be looking to take profits. You don't be looking to hold out your trades. On top of that, what do you see? You see divergence. So these are the things I use. I use hidden divergence. I use divergence. I use simple moving averages. I use candlestick confirmations. I use candlestick confirmations. I use market structure. I use whatever I can. I use the DXY. I use the strength and weakness of the dollar pegged against Gbpusd to give me all these different confirmations to see where price is trying to go. And you do those things, you're going to be a profitable trader, man. I promise you. And hopefully this explained how I pretty much caught this trade on Gbpusd today. As again, if you guys want to see more videos, please drop a comment, like, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what you guys want to see, and more videos to come.